Hello, Namaste and Khammagani. This is Milind again and we are back in Ranthambhore. Today we are in Zone 10. At one time Zone 10 was a strictly no-go for tourists because of the roads. The condition of the road was extremely bad. And sometimes you used to feel there is no road. The vehicles used to just somehow go through this entire passage. This is supposed to be the highway going to Madhya Pradesh. This road straight ahead goes to the Chambal River, and once you cross the bridge, you are into Madhya Pradesh. Because from there you enter the Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary, where there are cheetahs currently, which are recently introduced back in the wild. But now this road is really very nice, especially during the months of March and April. We get this fantastic welcome from the trees of flame of the forest, the red flowered trees on both sides of the road. It's really out of this world. It's one of the best routes in Ranthambhore, at least the main road which leads into the gate of Zone 10. Now, as soon as we entered Zone 10, at the start of our safari, we saw this jungle hare. They say spotting a jungle hare is a bad omen and you do not see tigers after that. But I do not believe in such things. And so, on that day, as we proceeded, we had excellent sighting of tigers. In fact, we saw 3 of them on that day. As we left the hare, a little bit ahead we saw these monkeys, langur monkeys, playing on the road. These are also called Hanuman langurs. They were having a rollicking time, and as soon as they moved out of the road, we got access and we went ahead and we saw this tigress, Aradhya. Now, as it so happened, on that day in the forest, when the safari vehicle came to pick us up, he was already half an hour late. So by the time we reached the gates of Zone 10, we had lost 30 minutes of our precious safari time. But it turned out to be all for the good, as there was no vehicle in sight and ours was the only vehicle who spotted this tigress. She's Aradhya. We had seen her 1 year ago in June of 2022. That time she was a small cub. But now, after exactly a year, she has grown up. She must be around 2.5 years old now. She has recently separated from her mother. Sorry, her mother is Aishwarya, T99. And her father that time was T58, Rocky, but nowadays he is not in this zone. He has been driven out from this zone by another huge male, T108, also known as Jay. Now, Jay and Viru were both brothers and they used to be in Zone 6. The mother was Ladli, T8. But then they moved out after they grew up but his brother Viru died in a fight with another male tiger. It was a territorial fight, and Viru died. So now in this zone, the resident tigers that we know of are Aradhya, Aishwarya, and Jay T108. That day we were the only gypsy watching her, as all other vehicles had already gone inside. So that got us thinking that maybe some other vehicles were sighting another tiger, as they would all have been here to search for Aradhya. Zone 10 being in mobile phone range, most of the drivers and guides, they are in contact with each other, and from which we came to know that there was mating going on in another part of the jungle, mating between Jay, T108 and T99, Aishwarya. So we too decided to go over there and sight those two tigers. Actually, we didn't have the heart to leave this fine tigress Aradhya and go away. But finally we left. She too got up and she changed her positions and she went little bit inside the bushes. That was the time we decided to finally move out and go in search of Jay and Aishwarya. As we were proceeding, we saw this peacock on the road with his turn, sir, turn. We want to see your feathers, the colorful feathers we want to see from the front side. Please, sir, oblige us. This fellow was trying to attract some peons on the other side, and luckily for us, he finally turned and gave us an excellent sighting of himself and his feathers. Wow, that is something great. After some time, he moved out of the road and gave us way to proceed further. And there they were. T99 Aishwarya and T108 Jay. That was some road. Jay is perhaps the biggest tigers in Ranthambhore. This normally happens with the tigers in zone 10. As in zone 10, they get to eat lots of buffaloes and or other bovines which stray into the jungle. Earlier in zone 10, there was Fateh T42, who was supposed to be the biggest tigers in Ranthambore. But since then, now Fateh is dead. Even the earlier tiger who used to be here, the male, T58, that is real wild love, if you can call this love. But this is the way tigers love each other. Oh. This was a very hot morning safari in June. But as the sun comes up, the temperature really goes high. But somehow the excitement of watching the tigers, you don't feel the temperature. In the winters, you forget about the cold weather once you see a tiger, and in the summers you forget about the hot weather. The sighting of tigers just makes you forget about everything else. It's such a pleasurable sight. There were lots of other vehicles around us that day. And everybody was very excited to see this magnificent spectacle. From what it seemed to us, it seemed Aishwarya wanted to get away. She wanted to move away from this male, but the male was not letting her go anywhere. He just wanted this Aishwarya for him. That's the sound of some insect in the jungle. And once it starts, it becomes very irritating. Then they got up and they just slept in the middle of the road. It was time for us to get out, but we couldn't move. This is the only road which can take us out of the jungle. But both the tigers were sitting on the road. There was no way we could move out. They were there on this road for a long time, and our guides and drivers started worrying as they had to get out on time from the jungle. Because if they would have delayed it, that means their vehicles get suspended for some days if they are late to come out of the jungle. But I told them that there is no other way for us. We have to wait. And we could always tell the forest guards and the department that we had no other alternative. We had to wait for both the tigers to move out of the road. There was another vehicle which was trying to get out from the, because it was not possible to move. Her tail was on the road and it would have been too close. I used some wordplay, but these people did not understand the humor behind it. I told them, वो लेट जाएगी तो हम लोग लेट जाएगी, which means that late also means sleep. So I told them if she goes to sleep late or sleep on the road, then we too will get out late. Doesn't matter. Actually, there is another road which we could have taken. We could have reversed, and there is another gate, but those gates were closed. So one of the guides, he tried to get in contact with the forest guard on the mobile phone and told him to open that other gate, which he refused. He said, no, you have to come out from the same gate and come out on time, which would have been impossible for us. We couldn't just drive over the tigers. Finally, it seems that that forest guard spoke with his superiors, who relented and told him to open the other gate so we could get out of the forest on time. But just as that was happening, these two fellows moved out of the road and we could come out. But of course we had to take the other gate, because going back from the same gate where we entered, it would have taken us more time and we would have overshot our stay in the jungle. Of course, on a lighter note, we could have also told the forest department that we came out late because the tigers were getting laid. Then finally, the male came down and both of them moved out of the road and we could drive and be on our way. As soon as they moved out, we started on our road back to our resort. Okay, friends, thanks for watching. This is Milind and Neelam signing off from Ranthambhore. Bye bye.